Good morning. Welcome to GE 6100 Understanding the Self. Today's topic is about the material or the economic self. For the learning outcomes, at the end of this module, you are expected to explore the different aspects of economic self, examine one's self against the different aspects of self that are discussed, and demonstrate critical, reflective thought in integrating the various aspects of economic self. The concepts would focus themselves through material possessions and maintenance of particular lifestyles. In the context of what the society values as needs and wants, we will try to discuss how an individual acquires goods, the factors that shape his or her economic decisions, and what these things say about one's sense of self. The material self consists of things that belong to a person or entities that a person belongs to. Things like the body, the family, the clothes, money, and such make up the material self. People are likely to purchase products that can relate to their personality. Material possessions signify some aspects of one's sense of self and identity. For example, most millennials have laptops and cell phones, and they are familiar with different technological innovations because of their inclinations to be immersed in the digital, which follows the idea why they are known as the digital natives. They use these gadgets to communicate, to study, but to a certain extent, maintain a particular social status. Parents buy necessities for their family because it is symbolic of their need to provide security. The clothes people wear manifest their lifestyle and comfort as well. So our possessions tell a lot about ourselves, or possessions tell a lot about their owners. Because things are bought of personal association, meaning one's sense of self and identity is influential on how an individual chooses to purchase his or her wants, and how he or she makes economic decisions that will address his or her personal and social. The decisions that go into the purchase of items and certain services is dependent on a number of factors, including financial constraints, availability of items and services, and the influence of family and friends. But the most important factor is determining whether these items and services fall under wants or needs. Some people may confuse needs with wants, but there is clear distinction. Needs are those important for survival. Food, clothing, and shelter are basic needs. So people purchase them out of necessity. Wants, however, are synonymous with luxuries. People buy them for reasons that do not warrant necessity. Okay, buying cell phones and other gadgets for communication can be perceived as a necessity. But buying units on the high-end line or the expensive ones can be a way of projecting a particular social status or taste. So people sometimes purchase items to show or to build how they want to be perceived by others. Yes, clothes may be a necessity, but people who have the capacity choose brands and styles to project their identity for other people to see. So, regardless of whether the things that people have are needs or wants, material possessions tell something of the personality and social values of those who own them. Possessions are extended versions of oneself. But in the process of acquiring material goods, we may consider two things. Number one, utility, and number two, significance. So, utility is concerned with how things serve a particular purpose or practical purpose. On the other hand, significance is concerned with the meaning assigned to the object. It is also concerned with how objects become powerful by the symbols or by the actions of habit and some rituals which can be separated from their primary function. Significance, in contrast to utility, has more to do with expression and meaning. But meanings are often culturally determined. But for some, even the smallest utilitarian objects are capable of promoting or embodying values. So to further understand the term significance, Roland Barthes studied the concept of semiology or the study of origins or the study of signs. He was one of the first philosophers to analyze the relationship between people and objects. According to him, it is through objects that people assert their identities. Objects are not just things, but are reflections of the wider lives of communities and individuals. The things people possess are also in sync with what is valued by their community. And this idea would tell that objects, aside from contributing to how an individual identify himself or herself, may also signify relationships of people with others based on what they possess. So, the possession of material things would also indicate one's status in the society. People can tell whether the owner is part of a wealthy family or in the middle class. One's possessions are perceived as personal choices that define people to a certain extent. And these personal choices build one's material and economic self, which is an extension of his or her social identity.